Welcome back, Bubbie Bashers, to another Bubbie Bash Coffee Chat.
What's
I'm
up,
here with
Bubbie? Back?
Plum.
What's up? What's up?
It's been a while,
It's
um,
been quite a bit.
and we recently. The reason why we're back is, it's quite interesting. One of our newer players, Slam Potato, found the channel and wanted to see more content. And you know what? We were inspired.
Very inspired.
We were very inspired, and we're excited to get you some more fresh content. Um, you know, I'm sure many of you might be disappointed about this, but we are going to be doing a different format than normal. We're not going to be playing any games today in the Willie Bash Coffee Chat. We're just going to be talking. And what are we going to be talking about, Plum?
We're gonna be going through the three tournaments that have happened this summer. The one in-person Bubbie Bash, uh, and then the two online Bubbie Bashes that proceeded after.
Yes, exactly. Couldn't have said it better, Plum. Next week we'll come back with a guest and talk more in depth about each tournament. But today we wanted to talk about the tournaments and the fun midsummer rankings at the end.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get started with Bully Bash 60. This was a very important bash. It was the first one back in a long time, and it was the first in-person one in God knows how long.
This was just the first bash since December, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. And it was
Crazy.
this. It's been six. It was 6 months between bashes, and I don't even know how long since the last in person. Um, excuse me. So, some interesting facts about this bash. Ado flew down basically for the bash.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Flew Ado down to get to this
Yeah,
bash.
came down from Texas. It was great to have him here. It was awesome. It was a 2-day event. He was there for both days, and we'll get into how he did and how everyone did. All right. So, looking at the bracket here, you can see if you're an older basher, you might be unfamiliar with some of these players. Um, Now, I'll introduce Hunter Brown if you want to introduce to Preston.
Yeah, we can do. So DePreston is my buddy and some of y'all's buddies, Preston, and he plays Marth. Now he might never play the game again, but he was here at this tournament,
Yeah.
and a not bad showing.
He won his first set.
Yeah, he won his first set, taking uh, in a game four, taking a set over Hunter Brown, which is pretty. I'm honestly pretty impressed with Hunter here taking a game there, making Preston sweat a
Me
little.
too, me too.
They're pretty close when they play, but Preston usually has the edge, as this shows. So yeah,
And yeah, basically same thing for Hunter Brown, a new player, friend of many. I personally didn't know him before the tournament, but I'm glad I met him. He's a great guy. And he was grinding with Preston, and I hope we see him return.
yeah, me too.
He plays Fox. I really liked his Fox, and I saw great potential in him. And
Yeah,
taking
he
a
really
game,
likes the game.
yeah, I mean, I could tell, like, from his play, I can tell he likes the game.
Yeah,
So now getting into the actual meat and potatoes, if you will.
yeah,
Um, you can see here, uh, a very stacked tournament, and
it was very stacked.
every single one of these sets was very very fun.
Yeah.
And you can see Get Faces here, which is always exciting. So Plum had a pretty far run. Sad Plum
So
went down into losers by me. Not trying to flex.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's. And then
Right, I forgot.
yeah,
That's
if you
bad.
if you follow if you follow through the bracket, you might notice something. Get Faced actually beats Ado here, but Get Faced, unfortunately, he had to leave early.
Yeah,
So we made the executive decision to put on record that Get Faced won the set, but give Ado the go ahead just to keep the tournament hype going. It will come back in the midsummer rankings when we get there.
yeah,
But right now, like, still good stuff to Ado and Root. Like, they earned their place. Like he went
I
to
mean,
it went to
they
game
didn't go in
five.
game five. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he went to game five. Like he basically like it wasn't even it was close. Like it's not even a stretch to say he could have won.
Yeah.
And now in the end here, many people would describe your set versus Ruben, as interesting, and they would say that you were playing a certain kind of way. How would you describe that set?
Um, I wasn't playing fantastic. And here I'll go through my thought process in this tournament. So I lost to you after playing like dog, and I was like, man, that sucks. I wasn't too bummed about it because I was hoping I could pull it back. That ended up not necessarily being the case, but by the time I got to Ruben in losers finals, I was hoping that I could coast on by. I was hoping that I can save my Mungo juice for grand finals and not have to drink any in this set. Unfortunately, that was not the case. I meet Ruben. Ruben's playing amazing. I'm still playing pretty lackluster. Um, and then I think you and someone else said go Fox. I was already feeling going Fox. I think I was down 0-2. So then I went Fox. It was a nice reset. I took the game, and then I went back to Falco because I got some momentum. I sipped some juice, and then I made it to Grands, and then played a lot better in Grands.
Yeah, I thought Grands was very interesting.
Yeah,
given the context of the last two sets you played, because I felt like you were definitely playing very shaky, and we got to Grands, and I was like, okay, like I'm probably chilling, and then it was a slobber knocker.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'm happy with how I played in retrospect. I had a lot of momentum, and that's sort of just what carried me through. Like some of my stuff was still off, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like when you get to a set, you just gotta give everything you've got, even if it's not everything you had. So I had a lot of fun, and I thought it was a really good tournament.
Yeah, I agree with that. And great stuff to Ruben. Great stuff to every player. Every player really pulled up.
Yeah.
Now, so this, keep in mind the results here. The Midsummer rankings will be based purely on these three tournaments' results. So you may be able to predict a little bit, but getting ahead of myself. Going into Bubbie Bash 61, another landmark tournament because it was the first revival, the first of the revival. I feel like we're in a revival era right now, bringing back the Bash.
Yeah, I agree.
And we saw some new faces. Again, some returning faces and some new faces.
Yeah.
So, Slampadato, mentioned earlier, he inspired us to bring back the series. We'll always be grateful for that. And he is a new player, and he's on the grind. Keep an eye on this player. Keep an eye on Slampadato. I don't want to sound like Hungry Box, but this guy, he's about to take over the world, right?
This guy, I have some extra details, as I see this guy pretty frequently on Gaming Thursday, and so I get to see him play LAN at his best, and he's definitely got the fundamentals of what makes a good melee player for sure. He enjoys the game. He knows what he's supposed to do, and I can definitely see him progressing a lot further. And I'm a big Slampadato fan.
Me too.
Even though he's a Sheik man.
And then also you see Cam here. Many may not remember because he used to go by Puff God. Cam is a returning player. He used to play Jigglypuff, and he has since switched to Captain Falcon, to the delight of many. And listen, we're not Puff haters here in 200 IQ Gamers, but I do gotta say, I love Captain Falcon.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Captain Falcon?
Yeah. And he's back after a while. I think he's definitely improved, and I hope we get to see more from him, because even though he did go 0-2 in this tournament, like it's tough out there. It's tough. And good on all these players for putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
The hardest step is the first one.
For sure.
And then another returning player, Ben.
Ben is sad,
Yeah.
bro.
Ben comes back and very surprising that like he just kind of showed up last minute. He's like, "Put me in."
Yeah, it was awesome. Both
Um,
of these players,
yeah,
Necroflyer right under him, played a set. Both of them showed up last minute and entering. It was awesome.
yeah. So yeah, Necroflyer, another returning player. We haven't seen him in a while, but he's back in the bash. So, um, what was very interesting about this tournament is Necroflyer did pretty well. Like
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm speaking for everyone, but I didn't expect him to pull up this hard, right? 3-0's Ben, 3-1's Dan, loses to
yeah,
you, which makes sense. Happens to everyone. And then Necro he beats Gixusu,
yeah,
beats Whoops up, and then takes a game off of you in losers finals.
yeah.
I think that's a great showing, especially after not playing for a while.
That is a really good showing after a large drought. I mean, he's always been a good player. So I was ready for him to play. I like you said, I did not expect him to game that hard, as hard as he did, but I definitely expected some gaming.
Yeah.
So I was pretty prepared.
So someone we haven't mentioned yet. Two players I want to highlight here. Ado.
Yeah,
Right. Ado's the hot topic going around the Bash community right now.
yeah,
And it's because last time we saw him, he was destroying everyone, right?
yeah.
And I think many people might be surprised by that, even Ado. I think he might be doubting himself a little bit. But I want to come out and say there's nothing to be ashamed about. Everyone has been on the grind. Everyone has been training and working to become the best basher they can be. And times change, and everyone's getting better. And just because you lose to someone that you previously been able to beat, that doesn't mean you've gotten worse. That just
No,
means you have room to grow.
100%. I think all these players have been super grinding. They've been playing a ton.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing you could do is play a ton. Um, I like to play all the time. I even sometimes, and this sounds stupid and weird, but I like to play sometimes when I don't want to play
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes you're in tournament and you don't want to play, but you can still win.
Yeah. I that's a lesson I need to learn. Honestly, we can talk about that shortly.
Yeah,
But the other player I wanted to mention, crowd favorite. Like, he's an interesting player because I feel like the crowd has gone back and forth on him, but I think the the tides have swayed. The tides of popular favor, if you want, however you want to put it, have swayed towards him. Whoops up, love Whoops up. One of my favorite players in the bash,
me
and
too.
I'm going to speak from my own opinion for a minute and say that I think Whoops up, he's doing well, but
Yeah,
he can pull up harder, like way harder than he is.
yeah. We still have not seen Whoops Up play like uh, a five consistently.
Yeah.
Honestly, if we'll see Whoops Up play a five, sure, but the whole tournament, I still haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Um,
Same for Ado, honestly. I feel like Ado's like just been not having great days. I think he definitely has higher peaks than what he's been
it
showing us.
it seems like both these players honestly have ups and downs literally per set. It feels like they'll fight an opponent and do amazing if it's one person, and then they fight somebody else and it's just like
Yeah.
everything fell apart, and it just seems completely random, honestly. It's very bizarre,
Yeah. I think I would agree with that.
but I hope they both clutch up in the next one.
So making the grands again, it was you versus me. Same thing,
Yeah,
me on winner side, you on losers. And this first set was extremely close. And I want to let you in on my mentality in the set.
yeah. I had no idea. I still don't. How you felt about
So
this.
basically, here's how I felt.
Yeah,
We were playing, and I felt like I was playing great. And
yeah.
I don't know if you would agree, but I felt like I was playing better than you were. And
In this set
yeah, in
or
this set.
Okay, okay.
And we got to the Yoshi's game, and I was up 2-1, I believe. And I felt like I was playing great. And then, like, a few bad things happened. Like, I think you got saved by Randall, and, like, just some stuff like that happened where I felt like I was robbed. And then my mentality just fell apart.
Yeah, that's
It crumbled, and then I lost the next game, and I was like, man. And like you were saying before, like you got to play when you don't want to play, and
yeah,
I did not want to play the game anymore, and you can see what happens.
yeah.
It was rough, but it doesn't take away from your win. Very nice, very good stuff. You definitely earned this win, like going through Necro, Wupsa, like all these people, plowing through losers. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely warmed me up. It did not help before our set that Weston took 8 hours to fight Slampadotto in
Yeah.
round one. Our first set, I was completely fine with. Like not playing for a while is not a John. I was just like, man, I want to play this guy because I was like amped to play. And the first set, I was like, man, I could have won that. I just wasn't executing 100%. So I lost, and I wasn't too upset about it. I was like, yeah, he just played a little better and got the dub. I took the one game, so that was fine. And then coming up to losers, I was just like, I'm just gonna play. and then I just played, and it was a slobber knocker of a set. I was locked into the game. I was gaming.
Yeah, that's so it was fun to watch.
Yeah, and I thought I was playing super well. It's interesting, and I talked about this with Wupsup after this tournament. Because I thought I was playing really well in that tournament, but I also like wasn't at all. Because I was doing like random full hop forward airs, like I was doing like weird shit, like just like blatantly messing up, and I'm sure you were too. But it's just like it's so weird the difference in like playing well in tournament versus playing well in friendlies. I think they're two very, very different things.
I think my like the way I think about it is well in tournament is like playing at like an 8 in friendly, or like I don't know. Sorry, or other way around. Like an 8 in tournament is like a 5 in friendlies. That's how I kind of think about it.
But I am very happy with how I played this tournament. I have no complaints.
So moving on to the third and final tournament we're going to talk about today in this BBCC Return special. Bubbie Bash number 62, and this one was another interesting one. I wasn't able to be in this one. I was at work, but it was a slow day, and I was able to watch the tournament, and I had a great time commentating and watching. No new faces this time. No like old returnings. Just some players that we've seen recently, and they pulled up. And I want to highlight this player again, Necroflyer, coming out swinging, right?
Yeah.
3-1's 8-0 round 1. Loses to you game 5, though. And then game 5 beats Dan. Beats Wupsup in a 3-0. Beats Ruben in a 3-0, and then loses to you game 5 again. Honestly, like, very close sets. Like, half of them were very close. And he was close to winning.
Yeah, for sure. I was not... I definitely was just not expecting him to, again, like... He really shows up and performs. And with you not being in the tournament, I was like, man, this is like kind of a bummer. I feel like, no offense to the other players at all, it just was not as competitive for me. Yeah. Like mentality wise, I was like, okay, Squatch is not here. But I faced Necro, and sure enough, this guy was gaming again. I was like, shit. And I just barely closed it out both times. Super, super fun, though. I always enjoy fighting Fox.
Yeah, it looked fun.
It was great to watch. I had so much fun this tournament, playing everybody.
Another player I loved watching. I loved the Necro Dan set. That set was really sick.
I didn't get to watch that one.
Dan, I'm sure you relate to this. Whenever there's a last stock Dan situation, you're on the edge of your seat.
Yes.
You never know what's gonna happen.
No,
he could blow them up, or he could blow himself up.
Yeah.
So I do want to comment on another player here, Ruben.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about him much before. He did great in the in-person bash, but during this tournament, he let us in on his mentality about online bashes, and I wanted to discuss that with you because he was talking about how he doesn't really take them as seriously, and personally, I want to hear your thoughts on it as well. But personally, I think that that's fair. Offline, more important, more competitive. I agree with that. But this is what we got. This is what we got, and I feel like, no disrespect to Ruben, like he can feel how you can't take away how someone feels. But I hope we see him pull up more in the future. Because even though he did very well this tournament, he got third.
Yeah, that is a good showing. In our set, it felt like he wasn't there fully in our set. I don't know how he felt in the moment or whatnot. But yeah, I definitely hope he super brings it like he did in the in-person one. I also agree, online is never going to be LAN. It just won't. It's not going to be that same feeling or anything. But we are probably not going to have an in-person one for a really long time again. So, like you said, this is all we got, and I hope everybody just makes the most of it.
I agree. All right.
Also,
electrifying
performance from Ruben in the in-person one. If we did not state that enough, truly electrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was gaming.
We were very close to a 2 Falcon Grands, which would have been very. It might have been a Bash first. It would have been very exciting. But I think we also got a great Grands. Either way. So ready to move on to the Midsummer rankings?
Yeah, we have gotten the rankings. We've had 3 tournaments now, so we have a decent amount of results. More results will only get more accurate rankings, so be sure to show up for the bashes.
Yes. All right, pause for 1 second. Going to be revealing. All right, welcome back. Plumby with me?
Yeah.
All right. So, I want to say in advance, this is based purely on the 3 most recent tournaments. So, if you have a problem with your ranking, the only way to change it is to pull up.
Yeah, you gotta pull up.
And we'll be explaining our opinions, our thoughts on the rankings. Our personal opinion had no impact on this order. It's entirely just looking at the rankings. Keep going.
Just to interrupt for a second, back on the bull up. I have a small bone to pick. When I ping Melee and ask for the days that we have a bash, please respond. Yes. I'm trying to get as many people as we can to fit into a bash so we can have a really good time. So if you get that Melee ping, respond as soon as you can. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with that. PSA. And I also just wanted to say, if you think we made an error in this assessment, if you think that if you look at the tournament results and can show us that you think your rank or anyone's rank is incorrect, please let us know. We want it to be as accurate as possible. All right, you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Midsummer rankings. The first power ranking in, I think, over a year. The last one was the end of 2021, so 2022, yes. So, this isn't a full year ranking, just midsummer. All right, here we go. First up is Cam. And I think, honestly, the gap between players is shrinking fast. And just because you're in last does not mean anything bad. It's I don't think Cam is how should I say this? I don't think Cam is way worse than anyone.
Yes.
I don't think Cam is way worse than 10th place. I think it's very close. I hope we see more from him, and I think he's improved a lot, and he just has nowhere to go up, and I'm excited to see more from him.
And Cam, if you're watching this, play the freaking game. Okay. If you want to get better, if you're tired of losing, there's only one way to fix that. Okay. I know it's hard to play when you're down in the dumps. I know. We've all been there. We've played this game for a very long time now. And the only way to get better mentally and in the game is to play.
Listen, you can't have peaks without valleys.
That's facts.
And nothing hits harder than climbing out of that valley.
Yeah.
And I just always see him from Cam. I don't know if he took any sets. I think that's our main reasoning. That like not reasoning, but like that's what mainly caused him to be here.
Right.
Because some of these we did have to have like a tiebreaker, sort of, and usually we would do it on head to heads. But Cam didn't really have that many head to heads. I think he was in one tournament, so yeah, I think he lost to Slampotato and I'm not sure who the other one was. I think it was Websoap. I'm not bringing that up.
You don't know.
But yeah, good stuff either way. He's improved a lot, and I hope to see more from him. All right, moving on to number 10, Slampotato. Now, I think we can discuss our personal thoughts, as well as just explain the rank. First of all, I just realized Sheik is flipping you off in this.
Wow,
that's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
But also, I want to say, Slampotato is mainly here. He was only in one tournament, and the only person he beat was Cam.
Yeah.
I will say though, he did get close to taking a game off of Ado, which is no small feat.
No, it's not at all.
And injecting personal opinion, I'm sure you will agree with this because we've talked about this player a lot. I think Slampotato is growing at an insane rate. He's a grinder. Yeah. He's always pulling up, and the only reason he wasn't at the most recent one is because he just physically was unable to.
This guy grinds on the streets of Unranked. This guy right now has no siblings, no mama get faced. This guy is truly a motherless Bubbie out here.
Yeah.
And he had Cam, and Cam has not played for a little bit now, and he's just gonna keep getting better. And you said that gap between 11 and 10 was small, but if Cam doesn't start gaming again, that gap's only gonna get bigger.
Yeah. Slampotato is growing fast.
Slampotato might not even be in that number 10 spot anymore.
Now,
who knows?
I will say, my personal belief is I think that Slampotato is higher than 10.
Yeah.
It might be close. It's very debatable. But personally, I'd put him at number 9 in my own ranking. But here, the official rank, number 10. But honestly, you could argue between 10 and 9 to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
And I think we're ready to move on to 9. You excited?
Yeah. I am a little excited.
Yeah. 9 is a very popular player. A lot of people love this guy. Benisat. Number 9, Captain Falcon. He pulled up to 2 tournaments. I think he went 0-2 at the first one, and potentially 0-2 at the second one. I'm not sure exactly. No, I
don't think he went 0-2 in the second one. I think he went 1-2.
Either way,
I could be wrong.
He had game wins. He didn't. I think he had less set wins than Slampotato. It was either 1 or 0, but
yeah.
He had definitely more game wins. He took games off of Dan, which is great stuff.
Yeah.
I think he went to game 5 with Dan.
He did. I'm looking at it here. Game 5 with Dan. Yeah.
So basically, like the decider between him and Slampotato, it was basically a tie for us. It came down to longevity. He's been in more tournaments,
for sure,
and game wins.
Yeah.
And overall, like I don't think we've seen these two players face off yet, but that would be a match for the ages.
Yeah, that would. I hope we see that next tournament.
Not much to say about Ben. He's just a solid number 9.
Yeah.
All right. Now, moving on to the next player, I would say this is where there's a tier gap.
Okay.
Like a rank gap. I think there's these 3 players, and then there's a gap here to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And the next player, you love him. No one hates him. Danny G.
Danny G, the king of the Bubbie Bash.
Yes. Yeah. For some newer viewers or some newer bashers, they may not know that Danny G won 13 Bubbie Bashes back in the day. It was a different time. Paulscraft 3388 went by Gixusu and he played Falco.
Yeah.
Wupsa went by Spicy Mini and he played Sheik. Ado was nowhere to be seen.
I want to throw up.
I know. It was crazy. But there were the Badlands out there, Bublands, some might say. Yeah. And Danny G rose above it all and consistently won. Now, if you read your Bubbie Bash history textbooks, you would know that Ado came, went in and out a little bit, got some firsts, got some fifths, dropping around, but eventually he just went on a roll and won 19 in a row. But Danny G, who stopped him who stopped Ado from getting 20 wins? Who was it, Plum?
I think it was Danny G.
It was Danny G. So yeah, I know you keep up with your history.
Yeah.
And so in the modern day, Danny G definitely has fallen a little bit, but it's to no fault of him. I think I wouldn't say he's fallen. I think everyone has risen.
Yeah, everyone has gained. Danny G sort of put Melee on the back burner. But now he's back.
Yeah, it seems like he's back. He's been learning some new techniques, and
yeah,
we've been seeing him apply them. And we did discuss earlier, he went Game 5 with Necroflyer, who is above him. Spoilers. I mean, that's apparent. And like he was very close to winning. And I think Dan, with a few tweaks and just consistent playing, this guy can really go places. And we've seen it before, and I think we will see it again.
And when was Danny G versus Wupsa? That got it was a 3-0, but that got dicey on that third game.
Got heated. Good stuff to Dan. Like, he's mainly here just for his, like, he consistently does okay.
Yeah.
I know that sounds bad, but like, it's consistent. He's consistent, and I hope we just see him instead of doing consistently okay, he does consistently great. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on to number 7, Paulscraft 3388.
Paulscraft out here.
Now, I think that there is a bit of a not a big gap, but I think there's a gap between Danny G and Paulscraft. I think that the next few players are in a different tier than Danny G. Danny G's in his own because he's just such a wild. Well, he's not like he's. I wouldn't say he's a wild card, but you never know.
Yeah, you truly never know with Danny G.
I think Paulscraft is a little more consistent. Like, you can kind of predict who he's going to be and who he might struggle against.
Yeah.
A dual main, which is, I think, the only one in the Bash.
I think so too.
And he uses both characters excellently, and I love watching him.
Yeah. I'm a big Paulscraft fan. He can definitely outperform his rank for sure.
Yes. I think we've seen it.
Yeah, we've definitely seen it. He just needs to put those results on the page, and then he'll definitely move up.
Yeah,
he's very, very good player. Knows the game well. Reminds me very much of GIF with how he plays.
That's a big compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Paulscraft. I think there's an argument for Paulscraft being number 6 currently based on these tournaments, but it's a weak one. But I think it exists.
Yeah.
I think number 6 just has better results, but Paulscraft has some better game wins, but results definitely in the end matter more. And those results are that of Ado.
Core 974.
That's his code if you're trying to play him.
Search for him now.
Search for him now, please. We're trying to get Ado to game.
We're trying to get Ado to game. Now, this guy, as he said before, 19 Bubbie Bashes in a row. This guy had that dog in him. I mean, you tried to beat this guy back in the day. It was impossible. It was crazy. I watched this guy. This guy would win and ask me to analyze a match of somebody he already is good against and ask what he could even do better.
Yeah.
I was like, this guy's crazy. He's gonna win. And sure enough, 19 in a row. Yeah. It used to be number 1, now number 6. And I know that sounds crazy, but these other guys have been grinding, and I haven't seen Ado play a lot of melee recently.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I don't think that Ado's gotten worse. I just think that the competition has gotten stiffer.
Yeah,
And honestly, like, I think from 6 to like 3, like, is so close.
yeah,
It's like very tight.
yeah,
I think Paulscraft is in the conversation. It's just a little harder for him to break into that. But I definitely don't think you would count Paulscraft out. I would never do that.
yeah,
But I do think that 6 to 3 is a very interesting tier because I think the what I'm seeing, let me know if you agree with this. 6 to 3, I'm seeing a vie for power, a power scramble.
yeah,
I think any of these 4 players that we're about to discuss could just break away and become like a big threat.
oh, for sure.
And the next player, number 5, is one player that I think we haven't seen at its full potential. I do think we haven't seen it at its full potential in these most recent 3 bashes, but I think especially this next player. And that player is what's up. Now,
This
yeah, I know that you're a big WUP fan. I'm a big WUP fan as well.
yeah,
Um, and we're a little bit harsh on him, but that's because we want him to win.
yeah. I want this guy to win so bad every time he's on the screen.
Yeah, me too. I just wanted to win, and when he doesn't win, I do get overwhelmed with sadness, and
Yeah.
sometimes I do lash out a little bit, but it's out of love. It's out of love for WUPS.
It gets hard.
Yeah, it's hard being a WUP fan because
Yeah,
you see him do such great things in friendlies. You see him perform way. I honestly like. I don't want to say way above his rank, but definitely above his rank. You see him
yeah.
play better, but that can honestly be said about all the players because I'm thinking about it. Like the players above him,
They're good,
yeah,
man.
they're good. But what's up? Great tech skill. Um,
Best in the server, debatably.
Debatably best in the server.
Yeah,
And, he's just an executor, and we just need to see him execute in tournament.
yeah, for sure.
All right, next up, number 4. This is where I think there might be some shock and awe.
Yeah,
Ruben at 52.
Ruben and 52.
Now, I originally was thinking Ruben was a shoo-in for number 3.
Yeah,
However, looking at the results, there's a clear number 3 after this
Yeah.
last bash. I still think Ruben has performed exceptionally well. He's done a great job, but even then, I still think we haven't seen his best.
yeah. I definitely don't think we've seen the best he has to offer.
I just think that he struggles a bit with the top 3 players.
Mhm.
I think that he can consistently beat everyone below him.
Yeah,
It's just he can have trouble breaking through people above him.
yeah.
I think his punch game is great. I love his movement.
I love his neutral. He always is aware of everything he can do.
Yes.
There's never a moment where he doesn't. There's never a moment where he forgets an option. Really,
Yeah,
it feels like
yeah.
it feels like he's always on top of it. He knows when to mix things up. Very good player.
Yeah. Very good player, and personally, I think I would put him number 3. But if
Yeah.
we're going off results, the number 3 player is Necroflyer. And now, I'm sure many people out in the crowd just gasped.
Yeah,
This guy doesn't play for months and months and months, comes back, and puts on a show. And he's been doing great. His punish game is very fluid and diverse.
Yeah.
Honestly, like
it is.
I do enjoy his punish game. I haven't
too.
gotten the chance to play him. I haven't met him in bracket.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But honestly, I'm worried if I do run into him. I think he's a little scary. You have played him a bunch. You've run into a lot. And
I have played him.
Yeah,
I've played him. I what is it? 4 sets now.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Played him a lot. I don't think you've lost a set to him, but you've gotten close.
I have gotten close many a time, and they've all been very, very fun sets. I've enjoyed every single one of them.
So I think he's gotten second and fourth, which is just definitely like the best results.
I think second and third, actually.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. You got second and third, which is like definitely the best results outside of the top two.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to address the lack of Gefaced. He only had one tournament that he entered, which is a point against him, but you may be arguing that Slampadada only had one tournament and Cam only had one tournament. Mm-hmm. But the difference there is they played till the end. Gefaced did have to leave during his, and it kind of put the results up in the air. And we found it easier to just... Even then, like, he probably... Like, if we're going off of the results that were there, he would have been, like, 4th or 5th, honestly.
Yeah.
Which didn't feel right, and we decided it'd be better to omit him.
We all know Mama's potential. We all know Gefaced's potential. Gefaced could easily be in the top 3. Easily. He could easily be 1. He could easily be 2. He could easily be 3. His results just unfortunately have not shown it because he hasn't been able to show up. If he starts showing up, that will certainly change.
And he could even rise all the way up.
Oh, for sure.
To number 2. But number 2, or number 1, but number 2 is currently occupied by me. Squatch 1917.
Dude, good job, man.
Dude, thank you. So, it's hard to talk about yourself, but I did want to say, like, I think I definitely 100% agree with this. And it's shown in the tournaments. Now, it is unfortunate that I didn't get to play in the most recent bash, because that basically would have been a tiebreaker between me and Plum here. Because
that is facts.
I won in person, and then Plum won the 61, bash 61.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't there for 62. So that extra win definitely gave Plum the edge. But I still think there's a discussion. And I'm just glad to be up here. I wish Mama was here.
I know, me too.
I wish Mama was with us in the top 3. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, and congratulations to Plum. But maybe it's not Plum. I don't know. We'll see.
It's Mama.
Let's see. Oh, Plum!
Oh, boo! It is Plum.
I know. I wish it was Mama. Well, so congratulations to Plum for getting first place in the Midsummer rankings. I definitely think it's well earned, having won 2 bashes now in close grands, through losers in the second one, which is no small feat. And yeah, like, just good stuff. How do you feel about being up here?
I'm definitely hardly getting away with it. You definitely, we always have close sets, except for that one time. But it's like, we always, it's always probably gonna be close between the two of us, and probably Gefaced. And Necro definitely showed his worth. So
I'm excited to play Necro in bracket.
I'm gonna try my best to keep this spot, but I definitely know it's not gonna be an easy task by any means.
Honestly, like, all you players out there listening, this could be you.
This could be you.
This could be you. I think there's definitely a bit of a hill to climb, like, because Plum and I have been playing for a very long time. Yeah. But I think that, like, Necro has shown that, like, it's doable. Like, he's come very close to being Plum. And my eyes are on Ruben and Websup. They're my 2 up-and-comers. I know they're already very high ranked, but I think they have even more ground to push.
Yeah. My eyes, that they are on Ruben and Websup, but specifically right now in this very moment, my eyes, ears, all of my attention is geared towards Ado.
Yeah.
I want this guy to play. I want this guy to show how good he is. and I think he can do it. Now, I know that's a lot of pressure on this guy, and hey, it might not be the next tournament. It doesn't have to be the next tournament. But if he starts playing, starts grinding, he can easily improve his results because he's definitely way better than his ranking, and I just really want to see it.
Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
I think we can see so much more from everyone, and I'm excited. I will see you guys again at probably the end of year ranking.
Yeah,
for the next ranking, we'll definitely be
so,
back week by week with some BBCCs.
Yeah.
What are you drinking today, Plum? Forgot to say it.
I'm drinking some air.
Yeah, me too. I'm drinking air currently.
Yeah, I'm currently drinking air.
I got Ratatouille here, Remy the Rat, saying hello, and I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in to the end, and I hope we get to see some big swings in the end of year ranking. It's 6 months or 5 months away, and I'm very excited to see it. I'm very excited to see y'all in the next bash. And
shout outs to Slampodato for requesting that this series comes back.
Yeah, so next week we'll be back with a more standard BBCC.
Yeah,
and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.